Good morning, Cyber Power of Tigray. Today I have two young and beautiful Tigray Professional Network representatives here with me. They will talk about the current Ethiopian situation and when the war started and what's going on right now and what they are doing. And they have had plans to go to Tigray to visit too. So because of this war, there is some problems right now. I don't know when they can go to visit. So this very heartbroken situation at this time. So welcome Hilena, Tadesse, and Absala, all the Georges. Before I start my conversation with you, please introduce yourself to my audience, who you are and what you do. First, I will start with Hilena Tadesse.
Thank you again, Brother Ephrem. We both appreciate so much this opportunity. And to your viewers, hello, good morning, good afternoon, depending on who you are and where you are. My name is Hilena Tadesse. I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia, and acting as one of the community liaisons for many groups. So in helping in streamlining communication, I'm very honored to be here to help update and also speak on our current crisis.
Good morning, Mr. Ephrem. My name is Absala with the Georges. I'm a high school in Atlanta. I'm a high school student in Atlanta, and thank you for having me here.
Great. Thank you so much. My pleasure. The pleasure is mine to have you. And okay, so let's start with. I know you guys had a plan. Let's start with this. I know you guys had a plan to go to Tigray every year as Tigray Professional Network. When this war started, what happened? What do you feel now?
Well, may I?
Personally,
thank you, Absala.
I feel my heart literally, the first day I heard about it, I was shocked. My heart shuddered. I was in total shock. It felt like it was a dream. But then as the day progressed, like, this is real. I have to put my mind around it, and just move on and do the best I can to help my people, even though I had plans. Like, I really wanted to go next year, especially with the whole Tigray festival going on and everything. I'm sure many people had plans to go next year, but clearly it's going to be impossible now with the whole war going on. But I think everybody's heart was also shattered, and it was a sad experience, like to see history repeating itself.
Yeah. Okay. How about Hilena?
I mean, Absala said it perfectly. As the crisis began, we're all scrambling to try and understand what's happening, why it's happening, how we can help. And as you mentioned, TPN Tagaru Professional Network, that is one of the pushes that every year we go back home and, help new members and people who are new to our country better understand our heritage and also do what we can while we're there. So nothing has changed for us. We still plan on going because no matter what's happening, no thing will stop what we have committed ourselves to doing as a group, as a country. All of our families are there and have ties. But obviously right now, our mission is to accomplish what we need to accomplish while we're here. Because they are voiceless, we stand ready and continue to be their voices. So we're galvanizing here and wanting to be the umbrella for all the associations and efforts that are happening here while we continue to speak to our elders and our community, specifically our community elders, to see how we can still go back and be most impactful.
Oh, great. I like your answers. Very, very nice. Our people are still there and we have to be good and see them. So it's just amazing. Even though there is a war, even though we can lose, war is it's hard, it's just, you don't know when it's going to be, what kind of artillery or blood are using, you can get hurt or whatever. But our people is fighting and we can always see them. That's a good answer. Thank you so much. So let's start about the war. So the Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, since he came to the power, the Ethiopian people and the political status is very disturbing. It's been destabilized. Many people are displaced. So when do you guys think that the war started? You can maybe
I will
Absala
go.
first. Okay.
I'm so sorry about that noise. Oh my god,
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
No worry.
It's just I have a lot of brothers. But I would like to say that the war started 2 years ago, when Abiy Ahmed started talking bad about Tigray. When he started, it was just horrific the way he would talk about Tigray, calling us daylight hyenas, saying Togrulowet. I don't know how to say that in English, but it's just like, or like othering. Yeah, othering. That's the word for it. I think that's when it really started, and then it really hit when he said that if Tigray held elections, then he will make mothers weep and children will die. And that's what I think. Those are like the two main, like the two like real times when it really hit, because it was like the beginning, and then like that was like the ending of like when the war actually started for me, because in between many things happened. He blocked the road, the main road to Addis, and people had to take the longer way. He blocked the road to Sudan. He cut off the budget. He didn't send resources to Tigray during the locusts. He was firing Tagaru that were officials. He was arresting Tagaru. He was arresting many political leaders. I think that was like the main cause of the war. Like that's how the war really started. But he claims that the war started after the election. But I believe that's false.
Great. Yeah, I think.
Great point.
Okay, Helena, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, great point, Absala. Most people do think that it began on the American election night, but obviously that was the perfect moment for everything to have happened, because the world was bated breath, just waiting to see what's happening in America. And as we all know, America plays a very large and pivotal role in the world's just about every sector, economically and alike. But the war against Tigray, or the war on Tigray, began when, and I use the Holocaust to speak to many points of genocide, because right now Tigray is officially on the genocide watch list, sadly and unfortunately. But I use the Holocaust because it's the most well documented and widely understood genocide that's to ever have happened. Although we as Africans know that Rwanda and many other countries within our continent we can draw from in terms of example. But in the Holocaust, while learning about the Holocaust, we learned that there are just certain steps that Hitler took to bring about his sort of law and order. Again, we're hearing these key terminologies that we've heard and studied about in the past. And demoralizing and dehumanizing a group is one of the main factors. So when a country's leader begins to outwardly, and it's been documented, unfortunately for us, for the Western world, we have to caption it in English so that everyone else could understand it. But there is so much more weight if he were saying it in English. But why would anyone say something that could come back to them in English? But to speak on a people, his people, right? Because he's not the prime minister for only one group. He's all of our prime minister. And actually that is the platform that he won on, is that I am for the people, right? So you have an entire country with very much high hopes for what this man, this Nobel Peace Prize winner, because again, of such hopes, will bring. And then when you hear such a person saying such demoralizing things about human beings that are under, his governance. That, I believe, that began the actual war outwardly being seen. So I wish that was where more groups of different Ethiopians would have said, maybe something is not right here.
Yeah, I agree, Helena, because and then you say like he's the Nobel Peace Prize winner, and how he's the prime minister, but I believe I would like to call him a dictator as of October 6th, because I think that's what he's as he never had elections, so he's technically a dictator now, and he is on the dictator list. So
Great, yeah. So yeah, as you said, he's supposed to have the election. The only elected regional government is the Tigray government. None of them had any elections because he's a dictator, and the other regions are also became a dictator. There are people who are already, they can take orders from him, are governing the other regional governments and states in Ethiopia, and it's been so annoying that they have a lot of ethnic issues. They've been respecting each other before when Meles was in power. People were like, our differences, our beautifulness. They were celebrating the having like different ethnicity in one nation. But right now it's just annoying. One to each other they are fighting. Someone. So this is what do you guys think the future of, like you mentioned, Rwanda, the genocide issues too. So if you don't respect each other, if you don't govern your own religion or your own region, so you will have, if somebody is superior and the other one is inferior, you will have a differences, right? That's why the genocide started. So I know you guys know about it. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And when you say if one group feels they're superior and the other group feels, and I think the key term there is feel. We are at the very core. First thing that we are human beings, and a lot of feelings and emotions, and most of all ego. For better or worse, we all come with ego. Some of our egos are muted, some of ours not so much. But to say that everybody needs to just wipe away their histories as different ethnic groups and come together, eradicate everything that you believe personally and as an ethnic group makes you special, and just completely wipe that out and be one Ethiopia is maybe in the past I could say, you know what, that's a kind of a beautiful thought to be one, but there's no way to do that where everybody's satisfied. And now knowing what has transpired, there's nothing beautiful about it, because apparently and unfortunately, the prime minister's notion of what that looks like is, taking the minority, because we are a very small percentage of the entire country, as Tagaru, and squishing us and starving us and killing us and massacring us, as we know from the Maya Kadra and other instances of where Tagarus were massacred, and propaganda is being spewed to make it seem as though these are not Tigray victims. When I mentioned, Rwanda and the like, what I meant was anytime you amplify your voice to silence, the ramifications are great. Now, the biggest question is, how long will it take the international humanitarian community to come to the aid of all of these innocent Tagarus and Eritrean and people that are now been stuck in the middle of this clash of the prime minister needing to see through a sort of a vendetta, right? And TPLF now, and I'm no I am not affiliated with any governments, and to say that, I mean, I cannot speak intelligently on the in and outs of the politics, but you don't have to be a politician, you don't have to be a scholar to see how many people are dying, to know that the TPLF party was elected before Tigray was silenced. And now, unfortunately, the newest information coming through is that European entities are trying to legitimize the interim administration chosen by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, which just does not make any sort of sense, because democracy is when people are allowed to carry out their democratic freedom. One of the biggest being that of voting, right? In America, we advocate for it. In Europe, we protest for it. So why would you, in a time of crisis, legitimize a government that is elected by the very person that is, and body of governmental body that is in question? Because as we know, Tigray is at a complete blackout. There's no communication. Only mild lines of communication have been opened in order to say, this is my opinion, of course, to say we're doing this, right? But people have tried. It's not a secure line, safe line, or is it working continuously? So why would you, independent investigations are not allowed. Neither are journalists outside of Ethiopian journalists, not other ethnicities, but specifically the journalists that have been given the platform by the current government, allowed to speak. So why would you legitimize an entity that was not chosen by the people, when the people have already, at a completely high chosen their president? That's very concerning currently to many of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, maybe Absala, you can continue about let's just continue about the consequence of the war. There is a lot of humanitarian crisis going on right now. Multiple people are displaced. 2.3 million actually yesterday. The U.S. Senator Cory Booker and Teddy Young was releasing their statement that they said about 2.3 million children are suffering, and women, and it's just our people. It's only 8 to 9 million people. They are choking now. They don't have no electricity. They don't have no phone or internet and all that. So let's just talk about this humanitarian crisis and what the world is saying. And I mean, first of all, they were saying that, oh, okay, the Tigray regional government did this, so we have to hit him. There is no. But now I think the world is aware what's going on, that the government of Ethiopia is lying multiple things. So maybe we can just focus and talk about this, what you guys heard and what's going on the entire Absala. Maybe you can continue.
I would say that with what's going on in the world, like, he's lying. That's the obvious, as we all know. In one of his conferences that he did, he said that his troops have no guns, they have no weapons, and that all the weapons are stored in Tigray. And then a few minutes into his into his points, he was like, "We have all the weapons we need. Not just all the weapons we need, but we have double of the weapons that Tigray has. But we're not using it on Tigray because we are nice people, basically." And I think that's like, he's contradicting his own words, his own claims. And I think the world, if you actually listen to what he actually says in his interviews, you will know that he's lying, because he will make one point and then he will make another point that contradicts that point he made earlier. So I think if the world, I need the world, I just want the world, I need the senators start paying attention to specific words, specific points he makes, because he never stops contradicting his own points. He never does. And
So
for the future, yeah, and for the future of Tigray, considering the crisis, it's going to be hard for us to rebuild Tigray. Like, it took us over 30 years to build Tigray and get Tigray to where it is now, and to grow Tigray to back to its feet again. It's going to be hard, but I believe that our people can do it if we're empowered. I know that Tagaru, we're really powerful, and we're really passionate. Yes, we're really passionate, and we're resilient. We don't stop working. We're hard workers, and so I know that we can do it no matter what.
Yeah, for instance, I was just going to emphasize that what she said, Absala, to begin with, he said all the political parties from America all over, you can come and let's just do election. But most of them are in prison now. He brought them to the country, and then they put them, Jawar Mohammed, the Dirtu, and most of them, they are all in prison. And then after that, he said, okay, we're not going to start any war with Tigray. We know how bad the war is, that contradicts a lot of things, what he said. And also, he mentioned that, we can see them from the situation room, all the regional leaders of Tigray, what they are at, what they are doing. We've seen them in Tembe and Abiy Adi with their wife, but we don't want to kill them. And then now he's offering 10 million birr if someone knows where they're about. So he lies for and one government as a prime minister, especially in America, if you lie, that's it. The next do what you need to do is resign, because the people not going to stand. We cannot stand them, our representative, if they lie. We do serious elections here in the United States of America. But Abiy had multiple things that contradict this. Not only him, but the whole group of the ministry cabinet. Zaid Abraham last time he called the prime minister, he's a piece of man. I was like, and I don't know if you guys watch the conflict zone. Sarah was so shocked, and she was like, what? So those are, I'm just trying to give you some examples what you said. So you can go ahead, Hilena and Tadesse, and say something about this.
Well, you made me think of this interview I saw. I forget the official's name, but obviously under the same government. And he was in an interview, and he said, Ethiopia is a country of, 100 and, he puts out this big, million, and Tigray is only, so many percent. And he says, that's like, in a big family, that's just, I think, have you seen that interview where?
I think so.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I wish I remembered verbatim, but you almost, when you hear that, it makes you cringe and you want to forget, because
it's like,
you have to keep your sanity. And somehow I really pray that our people are in some ways trying their best to take care of themselves, because we need to be at our best to be able to continue in this fight, in helping, in trying to help all of our people. So I just want to take this moment to say, a lot of us are facing PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, because we've gone through with Mengistu Haile Mariam, this, during the Derg War. A lot of us know that some of these refugee camps that are being reopened right now were not open since we were in those refugee camps. So our parents, we must really check on our parents and our uncles and aunts and brothers and sisters. But in saying that, the contradiction is so there, you don't even have to research it. It's just there, right? Yeah. And before I forget, to Brother Ephrem's point, when you said in terms of Senator Cory Booker and the most recent, and now let's not forget, he's put out statements about his concern about this crisis before, but the most recent one was very detailed and highly organized. I just want to let our senators and representatives and officials here in America and Europe and abroad, America and abroad, how important it is to your constituency that is made up of, you know, all types, and especially right now of us, when you take the moment to say, I've gotten your calls, I've gotten your emails, I've gotten your faxes, and I've gotten your letters, and I hear you. Because right now, as a minority, we are feeling it so very, very badly. Like it's screaming into an abyss, and hoping and praying someone who has the power to do something hears you, recognize you. So it's so important when these officials make these statements out loud, you know, in the Twitter hemisphere or social media, newspapers. It's important because it allows us to continue to breathe honestly. It's not a hyperbole, you know. We are holding our breaths, wondering what's happening back home, and at the same time, trying to live here in some semblance of normality. So I want to implore our representatives to please to continue. If you notice, I hear a lot of officials saying things like sides, you know, this side says this, that side says this. And I get for you right now, it's sides, right? So I will speak in the language of sides. One side is telling you a lot of propaganda, telling you how to feel, telling you what to think. One side, our side, is saying, please investigate, please probe, please look into. We're not telling you what to feel and what to think. We are trying to push, we're tagging you on information that is coming from reputable sources. And because at the moment we are the minority, we're being squished and inundated by news that's coming out from the confusion and chaos that's been provoked within our land. So if at the very least, look at that as part of the truth. We're asking you to investigations, you know, push for journals to be let in, push for communication to be reestablished. Because as we all know, what's done in the dark, my mother always says, will always come to light. It's not a matter of if it will come to light, it's a matter of when. But while we are waiting for someone to turn on the light, so many people are dying. He is starving our people to death. And no matter what your politics, we can all agree that is one of the most inhumane. I read a New York Times article where the people were recounting a dead mother on the road, and her baby was on her chest trying to suckle milk from her breast. So it's not pretty, it's not sexy, it's hard to think about, it's hard to look at, but we have to look at it. We have to keep our eyes open to it. These are war crimes in progress. Who is taking notes? Who is taking down the names? Who is going to be the voice for these people who have been muted? We're trying, but what official is going to continue? News cycles are very short. And that is why, as Tagaro, as even outside of the Tigray community, we see brothers and sisters of the Eritrean community, and actually there are even a couple. I can't say I have seen my non-Tagaro friends, unfortunately, come out and even ask how I'm doing, how my family's doing, unfortunately. But there are a couple that are online that are speaking to the fact that wrong is wrong when people are dying for the sake of anything political. So if any official, representative, Congress, parliamentarian, anyone out there, please, if you see this, when you see this, just know all we want is for the truth to come out, for you to push for the truth. We don't need anybody to make up anything, because the truth is just what it is. It's just the truth, but we need you to please to continue to advocate for the truth, for the light to be turned on. This war cannot continue in the dark. It must not continue in the dark.
Great. Maybe, Absala, yeah, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Hilena said. I want you guys to care about the democracy of the people, because they're dying solely because they decided to exercise their constitution. They are allowed to vote during state of emergency. In Ethiopia, it's in the constitution that the people are allowed to have their parliamentary elections, and that's all the people did is follow the constitution, follow the law, respect the law. But the government wants them to get off track, stop following the law, and to just focus on the government, Abiy Ahmed himself, and just Abiy Ahmed becomes their ruler, like a king who says, do this, do that, like as if the people are his servants. But the people aren't his servants. He's supposed to be the persons listening to what the people has to say, how the people feel, and enacting on what the people want. But the government of Ethiopia, the dictator, as I would like to call him, Dictator Abiy Ahmed, is deciding to say, oh no, you guys don't have a voice. I'm the one with the voice, and I'm the one who can say you do this, you do that. And that's basically what he's doing. He's trying to rule them like he's a king or some type of dictator. And we've seen how dictatorship goes within Eritrea, where he's a dictator. Eritrea is a whole independent country, and they haven't really developed that much because of Isaias Afwerki, because he's a dictator. And we don't want that to be repeating in Tigray. In Ethiopia as a whole, we don't want that to repeat. But that's what he's trying to do. That's the track he's trying to put Ethiopia in. And the people of Tigray are like, no, I'm going to speak up for myself. And I'm going to speak up for myself, and everybody else, okay, whatever. And so he has his family here in the United States. I'm sure other officials have their families in the United States, but it's the poor families, the poor children, the poor mothers, the mothers who have nothing, the people who can barely survive, who barely have food to eat each day. Like, those are the people that are being bombed, hurt, airstriked every day. If not every day, every other day, there's a war going on. There's somebody getting killed. There are mothers being hurt. There are children who witness their parents being killed. There are moms who literally, a pregnant mom, her stomach was literally cut open. There are people who escaped to Sudan. Luckily they made it to Sudan, whose head was hidden by a machete. People whose necks were literally almost cut open. It's horrific. What's happening right now is horrific to think about, and it's really hard. It's a whole genocide happening. There was a whole massacre that happened in Makadra. Over 600 people died. In Tambane, over 1,000 people died. In Woro, over I believe it was about, I don't remember the number for Woro exactly, but a lot of people died. It's a lot of people dying every day. And that's what we're trying to stop, is to reduce it, to stop it. Because people shouldn't be dying in the hands of another person. Like, I personally believe that if a person is going to die, it should just be out of nature. It shouldn't be because somebody killed them or because a government decides to wipe out a whole ethnic group. It shouldn't be that. And that is their whole purpose, is to wipe out a whole ethnic group. Like Hilena stated earlier, one of his officials, he was having an interview, and he said, Tigray is like wiping out Tigray is like one family member or two family members dying in a one family household, and it doesn't really impact us. Is what he means, that if Tigray gets wiped out, it doesn't impact Ethiopia as a whole in any way, because I guess Tigray, the people of Tigray, the value of a human being in Tigray, if a person is from Tigray, their human being, their identity, who they are, doesn't really matter. Their value as a human being is valueless to them, is what we're trying to say. Please understand that.
Yeah, great. That's the main problem right now. I think the world leader is aware what's going on, and he keep lying and he keep killing people. He said the war is over, but the war is just started, because the Tigray people are not going to stay there with invaders. I mean, the Eritrean government has been killing his own people for 30 years. He never had no improvements in that country at all. There is no infrastructures, there is no university, There is nothing. He's just building military every year in Sawa. Nothing have done for the country. Now, the good friend of Isaias Afwerki is Abiy now. What he's going to learn? He's going to have like, instability in the country. He's going to kill people. It's all over. He start killing in Wallagga Oromo people first, and then in Sidama, and then in Metakal, now in Tigray. Tigray was the only region that it was very peaceful and politically and stable region than other regions and even countries in the East Africa. But everybody can go to the university and nobody can touch them because of their ethnicity. They can speak Amharic in Tigray. They can speak Oromo in Tigray. They can speak whatever they want, where they came from. But no one is going to touch them because of their ethnicity. But Tigrayans been killed because of their ethnicity. In Addis, in Wallagga, in Amhara region, everywhere.
The ability to even have our Eritrean, 100,000, right? To your point, 100,000 Eritrean refugees living peacefully in Tigray. To your point, right? Everybody was living peacefully. So please continue. I just, when you said that, you're right. We were just fine. Everything was fine. But like you said, now, if you speak Tigrinya, because what is it? There's ethnic profiling happening, right?
Exactly.
In Addis.
Now it's everywhere. There are there are most of those in Ministry of Defense, like high officials, generals, colonels. They've been doing peacekeeping in East Africa and the entire world. Now they are on house. Some of them are in jail. Some of them are in house arrest. Some of them are even in Ethiopian Airlines. The Ethiopian Airlines main CEO is from Tigray, and Ethiopian Airlines has been very beneficial to Ethiopia. Now the main CEO is already in house arrest, and there are a lot of Tigrinya speakers has been thrown away from their job because of their ethnicity. And this is the cleansing. This is just so I don't know how you guys been heard about this and what you feel and what needs to be done. How could we raise our voice to be heard since we live in America? So in this matter,
it's such a shame. It's shameful that Tigrayans outside of the country, even, in our culture, we say not in front of company, right? It's bad what's happening in the country. And now even Dr. Tedros of the WHO, I recently read an article where they're coming after him with lawsuits. He has nothing to do with this. He's a scientist, completely nothing. He's given his life to science and the betterment of the human species as a whole. So to go after people who have nothing to do with politics, Ethiopian Airlines, it's just such a shame on our entire culture. It's such a shame. I don't have any other words to describe except it's shameful, because you are now dragging down people who have committed their lives to everything but politics, and even if they're, it's just really a shame. And as part of the diaspora, the only thing I can see that we can do is continue to shine a light on the truth. We don't need to make anything up. The truth just needs a light to be, shown upon it, and it speaks for itself. So that's why when I speak to my family members and especially my friends, my non-Habesha friends, allies, I think about Black Lives Matter and how we were all out in the streets, screaming Black Lives Matter. And we were pulling in allies, non people of color. And it takes everyone to impact such a big crisis. And the same with us and for us. We need all of our allies to come, because there are certain things as an ally, as a non-Habesha, that you can say very loudly without thinking of any, repercussions against, we need our allies to come in and help us spread the truth, not propaganda like they're doing, not lies, not stories, definitely not fairy tales. We just need more amplification on the truth. So, what we can do outside of Tigray is continue our battle online. It's okay. Even if they come right underneath our tweets and put more propaganda, it's okay. Even if they come and try to get our accounts, disconnected, because we continue to rise. We continue to rise, as Maya Angelou said, and we rise until our people are freed from massacre and rape and pillaging and looting. So I believe that's what we must do outside of our country.
Exactly.
Absala,
I 100% fully agree with what Hilena is saying.
Right.
Because I feel that, you can go ahead, Ephrem.
No. I'm just waiting for you.
Well, I was going to add on to what she said, saying that we have to understand this doesn't just affect the government. We already know the government is lying. We already know the government is putting out false propaganda. But we need to put the light on it. We need to let the world know that everything he says is a lie, that our people are still hurting. The war definitely did not stop. It just started. Like, how can somebody believe that the war ended within 45 or 47, 48 days? That's just, I want to say it's impossible, because it's happened in the past. But I would also say that considering who our government is, considering why he started the war, considering how he started the war, it's impossible that the war is going to end now. It's not going to end anytime soon, and I know that it's not going to end anytime soon. We all know that, but we have to be their voice. They have no voice right now. They can't speak up. Their internet is off. Telecommunication is turned off. They don't have any electricity. There's food shortage. There's water shortage. So we have to be their voice. We have to make sure that we pressure the government, because he's the only one that could really say stop to the war. Well, not really, because now like the whole Horn of Africa is starting to there's starting to be conflict in the Horn of Africa, like in every country, in most countries. But I would like to say that like he's really the one that can like put a stop to it. And so we have to pressure the government as much as we can, to the point where he says, all right, I give up. I'm done. I'm done with this war. I want my military back, because he's really the only one that can stop it.
Great point. The geopolitical ramifications of this crisis is so great. And a lot of times that is what, humanitarian crises.
I think,
I'm sorry, please go ahead. Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit, Brother Ephrem.
Are you done, Hilena?
Absala really.
The connection is a little.
Okay, Absala actually said it while Ephrem was rejoining us. I was just saying the geopolitical ramifications are so great, and because there are crises that happen all over the world, we know that for officials of all over, as much as we're pleading, with all these personal stories, also the understanding that the destabilization of the entire Horn, because Ethiopia really has been a buffer for entities or against entities like ISIS, and now with us having this fight, it has the potential of being a breeding ground for just horrific things for the entire Horn, which will spill over towards the rest of the continent. So please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think you two have explained well what's going on right now. It's inhuman. what they are doing is very heartbroken. It's very sad. I know you were emotional. I could have, I'm always, every day I'm emotional. Every day I cry for those innocent people who are dying. And as you know, as a member of Tigray Professional Network, there are a lot of refugees in Sudan right now, Tigrayans, children, and women, pregnant women, like she said earlier. So what do you guys know about this? What do the healthcare professionals are doing? All the details.
Okay. May I start, Absala? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, thank you so much. I mean, I don't have to thank you because they're my people, they're your people, they're our people, and just our community has just been so major in just opening up your hearts and making sure that we give. And so we think, obviously TDA is playing such a big role as always, and also of course we see all these other GoFundMes popping up, and as anyone, people may have concern where to go and who, so the best thing to do right now is to really come together, maybe in each city, form a task group. I had just such a pleasure of speaking with the Las Vegas task group official last night, and it really heartened me because there's so much information and there's so many of us doing all we can. And without realizing it, we're all doing a really great job, and it's a really good, it's happening well, but because we're not understanding all that's happening, some people are feeling anxiety that I'm not doing enough, or what can I be doing? Where's this money going? Things like that. So I personally encourage for each city to have a task group or task force group that gives you information every day, right? Every day you know what's going on in terms of what we're doing online, what we're doing fundraising wise, where those fundraising efforts so they don't. Right now, the most to share with everyone is for not 2 weeks, longer than 2 weeks. Anyway, don't quote me. We've had our own people, it's a health professionals network of Tigray. These are dedicated health professionals, doctors, nurses, nutritionists, of every sector in the healthcare profession that are on the ground and in the camps. So for people who have not heard this amazing news, let me be the voice of really good news right now, because I come bearing great news. They're on the ground in these camps. And what a lot of us don't know is actually there is another huge group that has not even made it to the camps. They are there. They are putting together and have put together a makeshift clinic. This is in communication with TDA, GSTS, also in unison with the NGOs like UNHCR and others that are on the ground working. The difference right now is these NGOs, and we thank them so much. We thank them so much. As much as they're doing, a lot of the money that goes into these world organizations is allocated to the world's needs. So right now it might be Tigray, but maybe, God forbid, tomorrow there could be a crisis somewhere else that needs emergency funds. So the money have to be, distributed by the humanitarian need. So right now there is a guaranteed boots on the ground, so to speak, there on each of these camps, as well as this in-between place, and a very dangerous, it's right there by the war zone. And our family members that are there in the war zone that have not made it to the refugee camps, they cannot be helped because it is part of the, it's sort of part of the deal. If you're not in one of these refugee camps, you cannot receive aid. So somehow they have to make it to the refugee camps. A lot of our people are saying, I want to see if I can go back to my land. I've worked all my life. It's, it's harvest season, my crops, my home. Even if it's not a lot for you, it's everything to them, right? Some of the people in this specific war zone area, there are elders who cannot even limp to the necessary place to gain shelter. There are people that have come there with that are, you know, HIV positive. There are people there with, you know, I was just hearing this horrible news that they need funding right now so badly that a brother that is under the age of 30 died a couple of days ago in front of the doctors because he did not have an inhaler for asthma. This is something we can go to Walgreens, to CVS, to any, you know, right next door. I'll be right back. Go grab. So I say this in two parts. It's wonderful news, and also it's very urgent. So TDA is allocating money the best that they can. And also, while we're giving, because TDA is also responsible for the long run, right? We need to build back up Tigray. There's relocation that will be happening for our refugee family. So that will go there. And I'm not speaking officially on behalf of TDA. Please do not get me, wrong. But seeing as a liaison in all these groups, seeing what's happening, what we need to do right now is to streamline our communication so that we know what the right hand knows what the left hand is doing, so to speak. Right now, as the community liaison for this group, Tigray Health Professional Network for Tigray, there is a GoFundMe. We are really pushing right now to see how much we can get them. While we're putting into TDA, that is because we all know that is something we're going to continuously do. As we work here, as we pay our taxes, as we raise our children, we know that we continue to put in for Tigray. Also, right now, the necessary needs. You know, we've heard the NHCR reports. Our family is sleeping on the ground in the cold. Sudan, Khartoum is hot. We've been there, most of us, but the nights are not. We know the nights are cold. Also, the emergency needs besides supplies, imaging, you know, so they can do x-rays, their handheld, they can be used of that nature. We can't help them with any of that if money is not sent. So there's a GoFundMe. If you Google GoFundMe Health Professionals Network of Tigray, you will find it. If I could be a liaison for you to direct you to this, please find me. I believe, Brother Ephrem, I'm going to pressure you into please helping me put the GoFundMe. I'm putting it out there in front of everybody so you don't say no. I've learned in our culture.
It's a great opportunity to say what you need to say right now because everybody is watching. Yeah.
Thank you, and I just respect so much of what our community is already doing, and we know it's just never enough. But I know a lot of us are thinking, where is this money? Can I just send it to one person? And so, like I said, this is not just a newly established. They are in communication with the major players in our community. So, and not only in communication, but because these are young professionals, they know the very much importance of being transparent. And I'm also holding them to that. Integrity is key in everything because we want to know where the money is going. Just right now, I have received photographs of the first supplies being offloaded from trucks. So we are in communication and you will see exactly where your dollars are going. Please, 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 if you want immediate, immediate gratification, that's what it is. Immediate notice of where your money is going. As we're giving to TDA, please, let's just go ahead and help these people. There's a clinic set up. We are having to send away. Sudan is so incredible and they're so amazing, have helped us throughout our history of need and crises. At the same time, we have to remember it's an Islamic country, so things like sanitary pads for these young girls and women is not readily available there. You can't just go and buy modis or pads at the store. You just can't get that. Socks for our children who are running around, our elderly who have incontinence, meaning they can't just get up and go to the nearest bathroom. They need adult diapers, and so these are the most immediate. And I know as I'm saying this, you guys are connecting with it, because in our lives we know people who need all these supplies, and it makes sense. It makes sense. And the beauty in it is we have boots on the ground right now that are telling us what we need immediately. So all we have to do is allocate monies to this, and to this GoFundMe. Again, it's Health Professionals Network for Tigray. And I'm making sure I get the name right because I want you to find us. I want you to find them. I hope I've said everything. I cannot tell you how amazing these doctors and just in general healthcare professionals are. Again, they're also in unison with Doctors Without Borders. And for us, with allies, with coworkers, with bosses that are asking us, where can my money go? Where can I do the most help? And maybe we don't feel comfortable, or they don't feel comfortable in giving to TDA, because we know the good that TDA does. But it's hard to say to give an organization that we know about that is not known maybe to allies or anyone outside of our community. This is a way to really help streamline. Please be careful of GoFundMes that are popping up that may not be speaking to our cause. Because just like, I'm just going to say they, because I don't want to give power and keep putting their names out there. I refuse. I keep saying Prime Minister because I don't want to keep saying a name that causes me stress, right? That is how I am trying to take care of my mental being. So I will say them, as they are going on Twitter and all these places and speaking up against us and trying to mute us. We're noticing GoFundMes popping up that is not for our cause. So, call TDA, call, I would say, GSTS. TDA may have their hands full. So GSTS is on Twitter, very easy. Inbox them. They have an office. They're very happy to really speak to our community, to any community, and helping you, contact me, find me. Okay, online. So Health Professional Network for Tigray. We're talking about all the things you want to get to the refugee camp right now. Aspirin, Advil, for our diabetics, adult diapers. Also, in conjunction with TPN, we are right now putting together a nationwide clothing drive. I know a lot of people have asked about that. We're putting it together. That is part of the beauty of TPN. Again, I love it so much. I'm a very new recruit, and I love it. I speak highly of it because it's just wanting to be an umbrella. There's no hierarchy. There's no chairman or chairwoman. It's just because there's so many Tagaru entities out there. We just want to help. We're speaking with, at the very least, 500 Tigray community youths in London and abroad. Hi, everybody. And they are so galvanized and ready. And so on our site, soon enough, we'll be asking all Tigray professionals to come join us and lend a hand in your profession and what you know how to do best. So anyone with connections with airlines, please reach us. Anyone, anybody that can help us get the clothing abroad. So I will stop. My plea has ended for now. And I just want to continue to thank our community for just really, you're amazing. You're amazing. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Hilena, Tadesse. Absala, do you have something to say?
Hilena explained it really well. I just want to emphasize that there are over 900 pregnant women out there, and so we're expecting children to be born where women will like the pregnant women, after they give birth to their children, they're going to need medical help. The people that are fleeing to Sudan, they're not just normal healthy people. For most, they might be, but there are also many of them who've been affected by the war, who's been hurt, that are going through it mentally. It's not just, a lot of people try to focus on the physical aspects of it, but there are many people who have been traumatized by the experience, who've seen dead bodies, who've literally, like, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there is a quote escalating everyone on social media that says, this man, he said that he saw human beings being eaten by dogs. So it's just to think about it. to see children crying about their parents' death. We also have to think that these people need therapy. These people need someone to sit with and talk with, and that's going to cost us a lot of money. And we need everybody to just start donating as much as you can to TDA, to the organization Helena was stating earlier. Just please just donate as much as you can, whatever you can. Donating is not just donating money. You can let somebody else know. Say, hey, this is happening. There's a war in Tigray right now. It's Tigray is in northern region of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is on the horn of Africa, and there are over 50,000 people that have fled to Sudan, and they need money. They need this and whatever they need. And there are over 900 women who are currently pregnant. There are people who need medical help. There are people that need mental health help. So can you just donate this much? Can you donate? And I can just send you the link. It's just as simple as that. So just do everything you can. It's for our people. Our people need us. And if you're supporting, and even if you're in support of Tigray, you're also considered one of our people. So our people in Tigray need us now.
Great. Well, before we conclude our conversation today, maybe if you do have any message that you wanted to say for Tigray people, the refugee Tigrayans, the Ethiopian Tigrayan. Right now, it's hard to say Ethiopia at all. It's just it became hard, to accept that we are Ethiopians now, because Ethiopia is invading us. Eritrea troops are invading us. So I would just say Tigray now it becomes a new country. It's gonna born soon, because we need to have our own defense forces and government. And if they keep hitting us like this, if the people are hurting and they don't care about it, it's hard. So if you do have any message for Tigrayan diasporas and TPN members and the government of whoever is a representative closer to you, senators or congressmen, the U.S. government, humanitarian aid, all over, whatever you wanted to say, something that we didn't mention in the last hour conversation is, I'll give you a couple of minutes for pause and say something before we conclude our conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ephrem, really for this platform and what you guys continue to do. For my fellow Tigrayans, fellow Tagaro, Misahumina, in the diaspora, Misahumina, in the refugee camps, Misahumina, in Tigray, every square inch of Tigray, Misahumina. Our prayers every single second. Not a moment goes by that we don't think of you. Not one thing do we do without thinking about you. And I'm not even going to speak in we won't ever forget. This is now. This is happening to you now. This is happening to me right now in real time. We are doing our very best. We will continue. And when our personal best falls short, we will be even better for you. We hear you, we see you. Even if we don't know your personal story, we know by imagining the worst right now, we would even fall short. To our representatives in each cities and each states, we need you right now. We need you more than we've ever needed you as part of your community. There isn't one of you that can tell me you haven't had Ethiopian coffee, haven't had Ethiopian food. Maybe you have your favorite Tuesday hangout, Ethiopian night, our favorite TV shows we've seen being filmed in Ethiopian restaurants. So you don't have to be embedded within the politics, but it's really easy to see the human need and the humanitarian need right now. So we need you right now. And to you, it's a memo that you can write. To us, it's our families that we haven't heard from. We don't even know if they are alive. So please take that moment to write that memo, to CC that person, and to have your personnel send it. It is everything. It is everything. As we are Americans, we are also, Ethiopians. We are also Tagaru. So we live and have lived these dual lives perfectly so far. But right now we are disrupted. Our bodies are here, our mind is here, but our heart is there. So please, and as for me, I agree. It's hard. It's hard for me to say I'm Ethiopian right now. I have Ethiopia tattooed on me. It's hard because right now, as most of us are saying, we're stateless when it comes to our country. We're stateless people. But for me right now, my country is where those people are, in the bushes, in the refugee camps, within Tigray. That's where my country is, where my people are. And that includes anyone and everyone that's gotten, just stifled by this crisis. So, Hilena, as I always says, Ajona, and I'm taking that over. If you guys have heard her say that, you know what I'm talking about. And it's true. It helps you, gives you heart. So, Ajona Najahum. Thank you.
ጎበዝ ቴንክ ዩ ዝሓፍተይ ጽቡቅ ብትግርኛ መልእኽቲ ተሃሊኩም ብትግርኛ መልእኽቲ ተሕልፍ እየ ትኽእል ኢኻ ሕጂ Absala.
Yes.
So what I would like to say is that I guess I'll say it in Tigray for the people in Tigray. Tigray Zarabi. ናይ ልብና ኢና ንፈትወኩም ካብ ልብና ኢና ንሰርሕ ነና ስራሕ ኣይቋረፅናን እስካዕ ንስኻትኩም ብሰላም ከም ትነብሩ ነይኹም እስካዕ ንሰብ እስካዕ ንሃኹም ስልኪ ናብ ማንም ትግራዋይ ደው ኢልና ብናይ ምስጢርና ናይ ልብና ምስጢር እስካዕ ምውራይ እስካዕ ንኽእል ኣይነቋረፅና ዝበኣስ እዚ ኣይቋረፅን we will not stop fighting ንኹላኹም ኣለናልኩም ባዕልና ንስኻትኩም ጥራይ ኣብ ትግራይ ዘለኹም ኣብ ኣዲስ ኣበባ ዘለኹም ኣብ ካሊእ በቃ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዘለኹም ወይም ደግሞ ኣብ ዓረብ ዓድታት ዘለኹም ንባዕልኹም ንምድሓን ስርሑ ንስኻትኩም ንባዕልኹም ኣድሕኑ ኣንሕና ከዓነ ንኩሉ ህዝቢ ኣንሕና ኣብ ፅቡቅ ቦታ ኢና እኒአና ንበልዕ ንሰቲ ተደሊልና ንድውት ናይ ደስ ዝብለና ምስጢር ንዛረብ ንኽእል ኢና ኣንሕና እኒአናልኩም ብና ባዕልና ኣንሕና እኒአና ኢና ንኩላኹም ኣለናልኩም ባዕልና ንስኻትኩም ከዓነ ንባዕልኹም ተሓጋገዙ ንባዕልኹም ተረኣዩ watch for each other ንባዕልኹም ኦኬ ንሰብ እዚ ኣብ ሕማቅ ግዜ እኒአ ኣነ ክሕግዞ ተተሓጋገዙ ፕሊዝ ንስኻትኩም ተተሓጋጊዝኩም ንስኻትኩም ንባዕልኹም ሴፍ ተጌርኩም ኣንሕና ከዓነ ኣብዚ ኮዳ ንኩላኹም ኣለናልኩም ብሓባር ከዓነ ንሕና ኣለናልኩም to the diaspora, well, to the senators and the representatives, I want to say that this is a humanitarian crisis going on. This is a genocide. This is a massacre. The government is trying to silence our people. And we, in America, we believe in freedom. We believe that everybody has a voice, that everybody's voice should be heard. We believe in voting. We believe that everybody that is able to vote should vote. And that is all our people did. They voted. And this is what happens. This is what they get because they exercise their voice. They exercise their voting rights. So I need you to understand that this is to the extreme where you wage a war on your own nation. Like, what type of mentality do you have to say, okay, I want to wage war on a nation that's my own state, that's my own region? Abiy Ahmed, dictator Abiy Ahmed, is killing his own people. He's, in my eyes, I don't know about in others, but in my eyes, he's not my prime minister. I don't know him. That's how I see him. And he's a murderer. He's a murderer. He's murdering our people. He's allowing the murdering of our people. His soldiers, the Ethiopian defense soldiers, the Ethiopian military defense, they're literally slaughtering our people. They're killing them. Our children are dying. Our children are witnessing the death of their own parents. I need you to understand that. Put yourselves in their situation. Put yourself in their shoes. Say, okay, like, what if that was me? What if that was my child? What if that was me in that age? What if that was my country going through this? I want you to put yourselves in their shoes. I need you to start acting a little. It's the longer you take, the more people that are dying. the more bombs that are being sent to Tigray, the more guns that are being shot, the more people that are being traumatized. The government has literally put a time limit to the people, saying if you don't get back home by 6 p.m., then we're just going to start killing you. He connected Mekelle, the capital city of Tigray. But even that, is that really connecting when you can't even talk about your secrets, when you can't freely talk with your family, saying, okay, what's going on, what's happening, who got killed, or what can I do to help, or anything like that? When you call, everybody's going to tell you they're fine out of fear. Not because they're fine, but because they're scared for their life. Because they're saying they're fine, not because they are fine, but because they want to make sure that we're not worried that the government doesn't go and kill them. I need you to understand that reconnecting Tigray is just the first step. It's the first step to ending the war. Take that step. I need you guys to start applying pressure to the government, because that is the only way we can really stop this war. And to the diasporas, I would like to say, don't stop fighting. Continue the fight. If you have not started fighting, it's not too late. Join. Start using the hashtags. Hashtag stop war on Tigray. Hashtag stop Abiy. Don't stop using the hashtags. Some Instagram pages, because I'm on Instagram a lot. Some Instagram pages you can follow are Tagaru PN as in TPN, but Tagaru PN. Peace in Tigray. That's another Instagram page you can follow. You can call 3elect. I challenge you. This is what I've been doing. I challenge you. If you're a diaspora outside of Tigray, call 3 elected officials, 2 state senators, and 1 elected official for your district, asking for public statements and support to end war on Tigray. Also, I want the youth outside of Tigray to start educating yourself. Educate yourself in your history. Educate yourself on what's happening. Collect as much resources as you can, so that when people ask you, okay, well, this is happening, I need resources, you can just immediately just shoot it to them. I need you to start educating yourselves, please. Please, what I say is, I actually started this challenge yesterday. But I need you to start doing 3 new facts you learn about Tigray every week. Every week, learn 3 new facts about Tigray. And if you know me personally, I say that DM them to me, text them to me. The 3 new facts you learn, let me know, and then I'll DM you or text you about what I learned. The 3 new facts. Let's educate each other. Let's be there for each other. If you're hurting, just talk with your Tagalog friends, please. Watch your backs. There are a lot of hate coming our way. A lot of our friends are receiving death threats. We already know that, but that's okay. We will not stop the fight because we received a death threat. Our families are back home dying for us. If they didn't die in 1988 during the Derg regime, if they didn't die for us, we wouldn't be here. If they had surrendered and gave up on the people of Tigray, we would not be here alive. Our parents, my parents didn't come through Sudan, but I know a lot of Habesha parents came through Sudan. So I know that if your parents came through Sudan, I want you to know, even my parents and themselves, if Tigray had given up on us, if the TPLF or the Wayana, our people had given up on us, if our people had given up, period, we wouldn't be alive right now. We would not be alive right now. So I need you to understand that we're their voice. I want you to lend them your voice, because we're all they have. That's all I have to say.
That is so powerful. I love you so much. Absala you're just leading in our youth advocacy, and you are such an example, not just to the youth, but to all of us. And I don't want to hijack this, Ephrem, but I respect you so much. I love you so much. Really, you've won my heart and every bit of my respect, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you. And I love you too, with all my heart. You know that.
You guys are so awesome. You guys are the best. I'm so proud
We
to
love
be.
you too. We love you.
Right. I'm giving you virtual hug. I love you both. I'm giving you virtual hug. I'm giving you virtual hug. So tight.
I love
Thank you.
I love what you said about the challenge. So that was your challenge to call that many senators and officials, and my challenge is to please find this GoFundMe. This is what it looks like, right?
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So I am taking a screenshot of this number, and then I'm going to see the power of our viewers on this network, and maybe we'll give you an update then. We'll have an update. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. So, Cyber Power of Tigray, today we are so proud to have you. I'm so happy and so humble. And this is our first time, but I'm sure you will be coming again some other time with the Cyber Power of audience to say and to see the development of the Tigrayan Defense Force is going to, well, here soon, our Tigrayan people will be free from those invaders, and we can govern our country, Tigray, as soon as possible. Those invaders are killers. They are evilists, and they need to go out from our land as soon as possible. If the world is helping us, that's fine. Otherwise, our people is always strong. Absala said it already. If we survived it in 1988, back in the days, we will survive now. You know, there is no reason. Now we are all together, actually. They start the war, 10 of them, 10 of Tigrayans. And then we trust them, we capture them, we give them a power, but they are killing us back. So we're done. We're done with those people. They are evils. They don't know how to share power. They don't know what to do. You know, they are just evils. So thank you for having me, both of you. And Tigray Professional Network is the best network that you guys have, a best family, best kids. It's just the good picture of Tigray. I can see Tigray on TPN. You guys are so lovely. You guys have the manner, the Tigray manner, so well disciplined, very kind, very smart. I've seen that Tigray here in Atlanta. I've seen Tigray all over around the TPN. If I see any organization that tells me is a part or member of TPN, I'm so happy always. I see that Tigray on them. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day today. Please, if you have any comments or anything, let me know. If you do have other friends to come to say something, please forward them, give them my email. And Cyber Power of Tigray is always happy to continue struggle with my people, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.